Picture this. You're in class and you have an awful cold. You know, when one nostril is clogged and the other is just running like crazy. You know, this is an easy fix. You just get up out of your seat, stand up, walk to the door, and pick up a tissue, right? You just have to pick up a tissue. But if you stand up out of your seat, then everyone is going to look at you, and people can't look at you today. You're wearing a really bad outfit, and your hair is just awful. You didn't even brush it this morning. People are just going to look at you and whisper and laugh, so obviously you can't do that. But is it worse to just sit there sniffing over and over? I mean, that's so loud and so obnoxious. People are going to think way more about that. But no, you just have to stand up because the teacher just asked you a question. Oh my gosh, the teacher just asked you a question. You have no answer? I mean, how could you in such a crisis? Well, now all your worst fears have come true and you look stupid anyway. I'm sure that many of you can relate to these feelings. Maybe you've had that really bad day or a recent hit to your self-esteem and everything just becomes too overwhelming to focus. But for me, it's not just some occurrence, it's my life. I have generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD, so I think a lot about everything all of the time. I can't remember the last time my brain was ever just quiet or fully attentive. Something always seems to intrude. It's like when I tell people I don't like to read, I tend to leave out the fact that my brain never shutting up is the only reason why. I genuinely would love to read, but the second I open a page, something always brings my mind elsewhere. Reading requires full concentration. It's not like watching a movie or playing a video game where you can still get the gist of things even while you're distracted. Reading is all focus and nothing else. But GAD, it's the everything else. It's every unimportant thought that you could ever have, and it is all consuming. It's the overthinking before a simple decision, like choosing what to wear in the morning because what if people judge you for a wrong choice? It's playing out dozens of worst-case scenarios in your head before sending a text, or overanalyzing every word spoken after a conversation because you're convinced you said something wrong. Anxiety affects my life every single day. But here's the thing. Not a single one of you here would know what's going on inside my head if I wasn't up here telling you about it now. Mental disabilities are silent yet all too real. According to a CDC study, as of 2021, 1 in 5 adults currently suffer with a mental health disorder. This means that about 20% of all the people you pass in a day are facing a silent struggle the same way I am. And it's a struggle that, in today's society, could never get the same type of understanding or sympathy that a physical impairment would. I mean, we love to take things at the surface level. What we can perceive is what's real, right? But often we forget the complexities of life that we can't physically perceive, the complexities of the human mind. Because from an outside perspective, I'm just the girl that got an easy question wrong because of laziness or disinterest, when really it's so much more. It's a genuine struggle beyond just teenage sloth. And it's a struggle that no one else could ever truly comprehend because no one else is me. This is what makes mental health such a nuanced conversation, because even the most empathetic people could never truly understand anyone else's struggles in their entirety. And it's this nuance that leads to so many misunderstandings. And it's these misunderstandings that lead to so many misconceptions. And despite modern society's understanding of how common and impactful mental health disorders are, we still cling on to these misconceptions. For me, in my struggle, these misconceptions present themselves as a time when you finally open up to someone and are only met with comments like, just think positive or you'll get over it, which only make me feel way worse about what I'm going through because it's apparently so easy to fix. It's like, before I was diagnosed with GAD, I would have these outbursts of crying spells that I just couldn't seem to stop. And these were made way worse when even the people closest to me would constantly tell me to just stop crying and that I was only doing it for attention. I know now that these were panic attacks, and I never would have known that I needed help if I would have forced myself to believe what I was being told. It's attitudes like these that not only perpetuate stigma, but create a culture where people feel ashamed to talk about what they're going through. According to Mental Health America, as of just 2023, over half of the people currently struggling with a mental health condition go without any treatment. And that's just data from people that are actually diagnosed. it's impossible to know how many people out there are struggling and are too afraid to ask for the help that they need. As I stand here before you today, I hope for you to understand that we all have struggles. And regardless of the specifics of those struggles, we all deserve the same level of love and understanding. If you are facing a silent struggle, I want you to know that you are not alone. I understand firsthand how crucial it is to express what you're going through, because you can't truly progress in a battle until you first acknowledge that it exists and that it's a battle worth addressing. And that's the hardest part. So often people are worried that what they're going through will be ignored or tossed aside as a ploy for attention. But no one knows you better than you. Everyone deserves the help that they need, regardless of if that's medication or therapy, or even just the label of what's wrong, validating you to know that the misconceptions were just that. Anxiety has always been present in my life. It's affected how I go about each day, and it still does. But because I took the step to ask for help, each day I find it being less and less persistent. I know that GAD doesn't come with a simple cure, and I know that I won't ever be instantly free of my worries. But by taking the steps to accept my anxiety and learn to live alongside of it, I know I'm growing from my experience. What I've learned is that it's not about getting rid of the hard stuff, but making the hard stuff easier. For me specifically, I know I can't just eliminate worry from my life, but rather I need to learn how to navigate life in its presence and not let my worry control who I am. And I know you are capable of the same. Because whether you're building up the courage to get on that really scary roller coaster, or you're finding the energy to get out of bed to brush your teeth in the morning, or you're finally asking for help, no battle has a quick fix, and growth isn't linear. But as long as we at least try to fight against our battles, we're making incomprehensible progress. Let my willingness to stand in front of you today, full of vulnerability, show a big step to fighting my silent struggle. Let it show that you too can progress more than you'd ever expect. I know that it's hard, and I definitely know that it's scary, but I also know that it's possible. You just have to make the first step. You know what? I'm gonna go get a tissue. Thank you.